Well, hello and welcome to my tutorial on sevenths and particularly the contrapuntal seventh. Now there are three kinds of sevenths. Let's just review them. If I go up the scale of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there is a interval of a major seventh. A little tension there, but when I add the third and the fifth, well, it mellows the whole chord and becomes what we would consider passive, the same as a sixth. They're interchangeable. So a major seventh chord is passive. We're going to take that interval and flatten it half a tone. The major seventh becomes a minor seventh, aka dominant seventh, or just plain seventh. When I add a chord to it, you can hear the energy. So a seventh will activate a chord, give it energy, wanting to move it to another chord, thus pushing our music forward. And last but not least is the diminished seventh. That's a major seventh flatted twice, so a B to a B flat is a minor seventh. A B double flat is a diminished seventh, and of course that is added to the diminished triad. Now I'm going to focus on the seventh, and particularly the contrapuntal seventh. Oh, what's that? Well, hang on, I'll explain it shortly. A little review from previous tutorials that I've posted. When a seventh, or dominant seventh, is added to a major chord, it activates the harmony, which moves the music forward, first of all by tension and release. It also creates a tritone between the third and the seventh. That's 3 whole tones. And you can hear the tension there, but that seventh is going to fall, in this case, from a C7 to the third of F, a 5-1. So here we have a G7 chord, the root, the third or the 10th, fifth and the 7th. And again, there's my tritone, and that 7th is going to fall to the third of C. Now the 7th can fall also onto the 5th of a chord or the root of the chord. For example, if I played a D7, 7th here could fall to the 5th of E minor or the 5th of E major. Likewise in E flat 7, the 7th could fall a half tone onto the root of the C chord or even the root of a C minor chord. Even on a minor chord, sevenths will activate it. Here's an F minor chord. And also when I add the 7th here. There it is without. Hear that coming in? Now it's not as strong as the major form because it doesn't have a tritone, but yeah, it moves it forward. So what is a contrapuntal seventh? Well, it is a seventh that's added to the chord after it's struck. Here I have an F chord. Here's my 7th. So I'm bringing the listener's attention to that particular note after the fact. There's my tritone and it wants to move. So a contrapuntal seventh must resolve by step. In other words, we can't do something like this. We must hear it fall. Now it doesn't sound so bad on a piano because from the bottom to the top are basically same type of consistency and sound. However, you can appreciate that if I put in a contrapuntal seventh here using a saxophone, brought the saxophone up to the F and used a trombone to take its resolution, it just wouldn't be right. Likewise, if I had a female voice here jumping up to here and having a male voice take that, it just doesn't work. So these rules are put in place to keep things on an even balance. And by the way, there are no passive resolutions of a contrapuntal seventh. What's a passive resolution? Well, in other words, if I were to play a B chord at a 7, you'd expect that 7 to fall, in this case, to the G sharp and the E chord. However, a passive resolution, the 7th stays, but the rest of the chord drops by a step. That you want to avoid. However, again, you bring the attention to that note. If you leave it, come back down. There it is corrected, and that will certainly work. Where do you find contrapuntal sevenths? Well, we can find them in a melody. We can find them inside the harmony. So I have a 1, 5 contrapuntal seventh, and I'll take it to minor this time. Of course, we hear a lot of contrapuntal sevenths in the bass section. Song out of the 50s by the Everly Brothers, All I Have to Do Is Dream. You've heard this type of thing many times. Passing major 7th to the root of the 6th chord. Passing 7th on the 6th chord to the G's and on to the root of the 4 chord. You've heard that many, many times. Another great song that makes use of that is When a Man Loves a Woman. I'm going to use the key of F. Here's the bass line. Now, many arrangers will take these bass notes and place harmony for each one of these notes, and it would sound like this. Here I'm going to use passing major contrapuntal sevenths and sevenths. This first one, 6th chord, passing contrapuntal seventh to the root of the 4 chord. Okay, so we've talked a lot about contrapuntal sevenths and that they must fall. Qu'est-ce que c'est de la? Now, we have to take that into consideration. Just remember that if in your mind the music is improved by breaking a rule, well then the rule no longer applies in that case. In other words, there's nothing carved in stone that says you can't do that. Music at best is an inexact art form. Anyway, that's a wrap. Please consider subscribing, would really appreciate that. So until next time, yours truly, Dave Burt. Have a great day. Bye for now.